This was the best episode of Solo Leveling yet. The tone at the start was so bleak that the Hunters team looked like they were walking into their own funeral.
There's always one motherfucker can't take it.
Forget all that talk about blitzing their leader. Once they saw him, most of them couldn't keep their composure. They looked like a bunch of abused puppies, and I just wanted to rescue them.
Let it go, dogs, let's go.
The orcs were amazing. Their tribal appearance was epic, and the 4 guards standing by the main orc side looked like titans, ready to smite anyone who dared step up. But all due respect to the captain. Even when facing overwhelming pressure and fearing for his life, he had the courage to charge the enemy. I mean, come on, someone give this man a medal. As soon as they walked in, he knew that a high orc army of this size was gonna wreak havoc on the city. And even under that pressure, he still raised his hands and raged like Erwin.
Soldiers scream out! My soldiers rage!
Only his soldiers didn't scream out, they chickened out. And he got smashed around like a pinball. I haven't seen a beating this bad since Not Like Us came out.
Sick, Drake. I hate you like I'm young.
Luckily, before it was too late, our friendly neighborhood cheat code arrived at the nick of time. Still maintaining that stoic, demon-like demeanor, and then casually asked if he could hog all the EXP for himself. This man was only thinking about farming. Now for the matchup. If you look at the two styles, you can see one has a major advantage. A mage with his soldiers versus an assassin necromancer. Based purely on skills, Jin Woo's got this in the bag. In most games, once a rogue gets close to a mage, it's over. You're gonna need a lot of crowd control to push them back and wait for the frontliners. To give credit where it's due, he had a whole host of spells at his disposal. Sadly for Tusk, he wasn't dealing with your average hunter.
You see, Frieza, you aren't dealing with the average Saiyan warrior anymore.
Oh my god.
Jin Woo started out as an assassin, then acquired a few tank skills that let him avoid damage and increase his durability. And to top it off, he's a necromancer. Essentially 3 different job classes built into one. That's a death sentence for a mage like Tusk. I'm calling him Tusk because I can't pronounce his name. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the production quality. This was one of the best choreographed fights I've seen. It was so dynamic. First you had Tank taunting that failed, and then he followed up with a Darius style axe cleave. Then the transition to Egress just standing there with his sword gave me goosebumps. Add to that Jinwoo's playstyle of dashing all over the place and shredding orc flesh like cheese. Oh, it was a gory meal that I loved and devoured. One thing I really appreciate from the boss was the overall design. The fact that he calls his spells songs really adds to this tribal barbaric style they've got going on. So let's dive into the fight and all the skills used in this episode. Jin Woo starts the battle with his usual summons, but then activates a brand new skill we haven't seen before. The Monarch's Domain. This AoE buff skill boosts the strength of all his active summons by 50%, which is absolutely necessary because the orcs were a higher level than his shadows, and that's why Tank's taunt failed. By the way, I really like the glass breaking animation when the skill failed. It's a nice touch. Classy. After Jin Woo's little bloodbath, Tusk uses his spell Song of the Dragonfire, which clears out a portion of Jin Woo's shadows, only for them to get revived again. It's funny because you never really get rid of your shadows. Then Tusk follows up with a Song of the Guardian, which sounds like a defensive spell, but this orc drops some Nas on it and shoots it out faster than an incel's right hand.
I need one of these. One of the big ones.
Also, the design of the magic circle he uses to cast the spells is dope. It'd make a perfect tattoo. Next, he unleashes a series of gravity magic spells combined with his acceleration ability, chaining these single target attacks one after the other. But Jin Woo is moving like he just dropped the weights like Rock Lee. You can hear the music now. Then Tusk hits him with an AoE fire spell intended to drain Jin Woo's mana, which is completely countered by a blue pot and his shadow extraction, wiping out the enemy and his men in an all-out attack only for them to get revived and turned on him. That's gotta suck. One thing I found weird was that the orcs don't turn black and blue like his other shadows. Since it's called shadow extraction, shouldn't they look like real shadows? Instead they look like nightlight versions of their former selves. But after seeing his men get revived, Tusk seems to experience a matrix glitch moment, similar to what happens to the Ice Elf. This is definitely foreshadowing something big in the future. Finally, the mage makes a critical mistake by entering the front lines. Not only do all his buffs fail to work on our cheat code protagonist, but he also makes himself an even bigger target. Jin Woo then brings out his Spider-Man skills and then brings that mage down hard. And to add insult to injury, the mage gets finished off by his own men. What a great freaking episode. And I want more.